It's Vikings' land and their stories, a mixture of Martian deserts, thunderous waterfalls, erupting volcanoes, and beautiful fjords. Iceland is undoubtedly the most rugged and wild country in Europe. It's a wildlife paradise, although not everything in the country is a constant fight against climate. Reykjavik is a small city, but with many cafes, bars, and museums, it has a lot of cultural and entertainment activity. The landscapes and the history of Iceland are clearly linked, although, in the end, it is the natural beauty of Iceland, its unique waterfalls, its huge volcanic craters, its bubbling mud puddles, and their powerful speech are what really attracts attention. In this video, we tell you the best places to visit in Iceland, whether you visited a weekend or month. Under the surface of the Reykjanes Peninsula, which is located in the southwest corner of Iceland, there is an active volcanic system. When people land in Iceland, greenish-gray moss on the strange lava of another world is usually the first thing they see. This peninsula is beautiful and strange at the same time, with rough black lava formations and hot springs and geysers that send smooth columns and clouds. Borgarfjörður is a valley in western Iceland that is full of crops. It really is a geothermal paradise with the strongest hot springs in Europe, the magical Krama baths, and a huge lava cave. This gives even more depth to the incredible saga and Viking stories about the area. Borgarnes is the largest city in Borgarfjörður. It is in a beautiful hill overlooking the ocean and is well known for its history, which goes from the Vikings to the busy trade between England and Denmark in the 19th century. In Barnafoss, the rapids and their short but very strong water currents cross the narrow canyon and look a bit like a pale blue shake. The name Barnafoss comes from a story about two children who disappeared from a nearby farm many years ago. The waterfall is one of the most popular places in West Iceland and a natural monument protected by law since 1987. With more than 17,000 inhabitants, Akureyri is the second largest city in Iceland after Reykjavik. It is a quiet city with a beautiful port, shops, coffee shops, and restaurants. The huge Akureyri church dominates everything. It has beautiful stained glass, some of which were brought from the former Coventry Cathedral in England, and new paintings of famous Icelanders. Lake Myvatn is a body of water east of Akureyri that feeds on springs and has a size of 36 square kilometers. It was formed by volcanic activity about 4,000 years ago. The area around Lake Myvatn is surrounded by an impressive mixture of extinguished ash cones and twisted lava formations, hot graves, boiling mud wells, and volcanic breathing rooms that rise. Vatnajökull National Park occupies about 13,920 square kilometers, or 14% of Iceland's land area. It is formed by the Vatnajökull Polar Glacier and other areas that are not connected to it. Vatnajökull is the largest ice sheet in Europe, which is the main thing you see when you look inland from the southwest. Jökulsárlón is a large lagoon on the southeast coast, where the Vatnajökull Glacier approaches the water. In the 1940s, the glacier began to melt, causing the lagoon to form. Today, the lagoon is a beautiful sight, full of icebergs that have just calved off the glacier, with a deep black sand beach behind you and the white mass of Europe's largest ice sheet on the horizon. Jökulsárlón is a great place to visit during the long journey from Vik to Hofen. The famous Svartifoss waterfall falls 20 meters over a cliff that has tall columns of black basalt on both sides. The National Theatre of Iceland and Hallgrímskirkja Church in Reykjavik were inspired by this natural wonder. The hexagonal columns form within a lava flow which then cools very slowly, allowing crystals to form. This massive waterfall in Jökulsárlón National Park in northeast Iceland is the largest waterfall in Europe in terms of volume. Between the broken cliffs of the Jökulsá Canyon, the river drops 45 meters, adding to the spectacle and can be heard for miles. Upstream is the Selfoss waterfall, just 10 meters high but 70 meters wide. Vik is the southernmost town in Iceland and one of the most photographed places. The sleepy coastal town sits on a spectacular stretch of coastline between glacier-topped mountains, cliffs and black sand beaches. The famous cliffs of Reynisfjara jut out of the water, and the stone arch of Dyrhólaey is like nothing else in the country. The black sand beach is a sight full of mystery, famous for its extraordinary natural beauty and offering stunning views of power and magnificence. The feeling of taking a deep breath while standing on the black volcanic sand is something you will remember for the rest of your life. Be careful and keep a safe distance from the waves as you explore the surroundings and the secret treasures found inside the caves made of basalt. Dyrhólaey is a small peninsula on the south coast of Iceland that used to be a volcano and is today known for the 120-meter-high natural arch found there. The Dyrhólaey Arch. The name comes from the fact that ships and even some small planes can pass through the arch at certain times. It has a great view of the black sand beaches near the town of Vik and the black lava columns of Reynisfjara. Skofagoss is a waterfall in southern Iceland, near where the ancient coast used to be. After the coast moved to the sea, the ancient cliffs remained. Skofagoss waterfall is unique because it comes directly from two glaciers. If you climb the 370 steps to the top of Skofagoss waterfall, you'll get a stunning view of the coast of southern Iceland. This is also where the popular Fimmvörðuháls Pass hiking route begins. At 60 meters high, the heavy curtain of water is a sight to behold. The Mýrdalsjökull ice sheet is the fourth largest on the island and covers almost 600 square kilometers. Its highest peak is about 500 meters high. When you go to Mýrdalsjökull, you can do things like ice climbing, glacier hiking, and snowmobiling on glaciers. The weather changes rapidly on the glacier, and strong winds and snowstorms can hit and surprise you at any time of the year. Meltwater from Iceland's iconic glacier-topped Vatnajökull volcano feeds the Seljalandsfoss waterfall on the country's southern coast. This impressive waterfall flows into a beautiful meadow. However, the biggest attraction is the path that passes behind the water barrier. There, you can enjoy a genuinely unique perspective of the waterfall. The trail behind the waterfall is closed during the winter months due to the risk of falling due to ice. Thingvellir is a deep scar in the land running north from Lake Myvatn, where the ground has collapsed. It has been an Icelandic national park since 1930. It was chosen as the site for the world's oldest parliament by Viking settlers in the 10th century. The Geysir region is located on the lower slopes of Barnafoss, 90 minutes northeast of Reykjavik, and has a dozen or more hot water vents, including Geysir, the peak that inspired the names of other geysers around the world. The Geysir region was first activated about 1,000 years ago, but the most magnificent geyser today is Strákur, which you will undoubtedly see in action. Gulfoss, a huge, beautiful and often spectacular two-tiered waterfall, is a beautiful sight, whether partially frozen in winter, in full flow during the spring or roaring during the long summer afternoon. Its location in a deep canyon adds to the spectacle, as does the surrounding environment of ice peaks and gravel desert, a stark contrast to the green spray-fed flora closer to the river. The Blue Lagoon is one of the most beautiful spas in the world. The vivid blue waters of the lagoon give a strange burst of color to an inhospitable lava wasteland. The Blue Lagoon was formed when superheated seawater from the near geothermal power plant accumulated in the surrounding lava. Relax in the hot springs, get a beauty treatment, or stay nearby to see the spectacle that is the Northern Lights. The Northern Lights, also called the Aurora Borealis, are made of solar particles that glow as they move through the upper atmosphere. Between November and February, the weather is perfect to catch these elusive lights. Iceland is a great place to see the dancing curtains of the northern lights because its night sky has very little light pollution. Coming winter when there is more solar activity and head away from Reykjavik for the best sightings. Reykjavik's compact city center is a historic enclave of alleys around the old harbor, while municipal buildings are built of stone or concrete to withstand harsh winter winds. Most of the neighborhood is residential, with old wooden houses protected from the elements with brightly colored corrugated iron. Most shops, cafes, restaurants and nightclubs, as well as museums and galleries, are located here. Iceland has very little pollution and all its energy is geothermal or hydroelectric. Drinking water comes from virgin glaciers, fish is obtained from unpolluted streams, and lambs and cows graze on fertilizer-free fields. Most Icelanders now reside in and around Reykjavik, leaving large swaths of the volcanically active island desolate. The Icelandic landscape, dotted with scorching lava fields, ice caps, glaciers, hot pools and geysers, has an innate rawness that no one who sees it can easily forget.